What's up, guys? This is episode 14 of Baseball and Whatever. I'm Justin. That's Greg. We are here. We're going to talk a little bit about the White Sox, a little bit about the Cubs, a little bit about the All-Star game. There's not much going on in the world of sports besides the NBA Finals right now. It's pretty low-key with it being All-Star week. So we're going to talk about that. And then for our whatever topic, we have decided we are going to count down our 5 favorite sports logos, not to be confused with our 5 favorite sports jerseys, which we did probably like 2.5, 3 months ago, Greg? Does that sound right?
So that was an earlier one.
I was like an early one when we still were just, hoping not that we have an idea of what we're doing now, but we have a little bit more idea.
Maybe we've improved a little bit.
Yeah. I like it. We sound better. I think we sound better.
We do. We've upgraded our equipment to say the least.
So that's what we got on tap for the show today. We got a ton of reader responses from our Facebook page, from our email that we're going to go through because of the question of the week that Greg threw out, all about what the White Sox should do next now that the second half of the season is underway before the trade deadline hits. And then also with Duncan Keith getting traded, I am always up to talk hockey, so I was happy that he included that. Well, a lot of people shared their favorite memories. I can talk a little bit about the trade itself. The Hawks kind of fleeced the Oilers on this one. I don't know how they pulled that off because I don't like Stan Bowman, but I hate to give him credit, but I have to on this one.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you have to. So without further ado, if this is your first time listening to us, we are Baseball and Whatever. You can get a hold of us on Twitter at Baseball and What. You can also email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. And the other way to get a hold of us that I check the most is our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. So without further ado, Greg, what emails do you have about, I know we got some about our top 5 summer movies, and we also got a couple thrown in there for the top 5 Simpsons characters as well.
Yeah, it was good to hear some stuff from the previous episodes. And as always, keep sending that stuff in. Justin, great to be back with you tonight again. I was just going to say before we get started, how awesome it is just been podcasting, Thought about today when I was at work. I'm just like, God, my job sucks. And I was like, at least I got podcasting though. That's been a lot of fun. It's been something to, it's been a fun little hobby, something to get enthusiastic about. And just something to look forward to, talking about what we're interested in rather than my day job, which I have absolutely no interest in, and I'm losing motivation slowly but surely. So,
well,
I gotta find a pick me up here. But
I'm glad we're on the same page, because I know when I text you and Vinny about podcast stuff, I'm always afraid I'm going to be going off the
just take it easy, Justin.
Easy. Like, tone it down a notch. But no, you guys are not the same. So
no, it's good to be enthusiastic about it, and it keeps us going. I certainly love doing it. So and especially this week, because we've got a ton of
we got
feedback.
A ton of stuff.
We're gonna get to some now. We'll actually get to it throughout the episode. Each segment we're going to do for the first half. We'll probably get to some of your correspondence here, but either way, let's get started. So we're going to go ladies first tonight.
Yes.
And we have the wife chiming in. That's your wife, Erica.
Yeah, she's stepping up her listenership. She already told me she asked for our email because she's going to send some whatever topics our way. So
awesome.
She's getting involved.
That's awesome. So our email is baseballwhatever@gmail.com.
Yes,
Erica, if you're listening, I'll repeat it a second time there for you, and we'll say it again at the end of the show. But Erica writes in with her top 5 summer movies.
Yes.
So number 1 leading off is Friday the 13th, where I got a Greg.
Yes.
To the side right there, because I believe I listed that as an honorable mention. Knowing your wife, that's not surprising.
She is a horror aficionado. The amount, when it comes to Halloween, it's scary around here. That's for sure. I am not. I do not like.
No,
movies.
you are opposite. The horror fest. Justin,
we clash on that a little bit, but that was her number 1. So
Justin, you're a Christmas guy.
I am. I like Christmas. Halloween doesn't do it for me anymore. I don't know what it is. So
okay, so then followed up by Weekend at Bernie's, The Burbs. Oh, I forgot about The Burbs.
I know that was one. That would definitely. I can't believe I forgot that, because that would have probably been like 2 or 3 on my list, because I watched that at least once a year. So
I saw that. I'm like, God, I forgot about that movie.
Mhm.
Number 4, we got Dude, Where's My Car? Great call. And tie for 5th place, The Sandlot and It Takes Two. So
yes,
good solid list. Good solid
I
list, that's for
remember going to
sure.
see It Takes Two with my sister when it came out because she was a
Oh, really?
huge Mary Kate and Ashley
Mary
Olsen
Kate
fan.
Ashley,
Yeah.
yeah. Now the third Olsen sister's the
She's probably the most
superstar
famous
now.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the most
WandaVision.
normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't
yeah, so I
know.
thought that was a
Oh.
pretty good list. I know she's a huge fan of Weekend at Bernie's. I have never seen Weekend at Bernie's besides when she's got it on in the house sometimes.
Isn't Weekend at Bernie's 2 the infamous
Like really
bad
bad,
one
right?
or whatever
Yeah, that's
that's
what I've
got
heard.
that cult following? I don't know if I've seen Weekend at I never think I saw Weekend at Bernie's 2.
And I never
So.
saw until probably like within the last year. I never really saw Dude, Where's My Car either.
Oh,
I
really?
somehow
Yeah,
missed out
yeah.
on that, missed that boat. I don't know. I was probably in middle school when that came out, right
Yeah,
around there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know, missed that one. But yeah,
Been a
good
while
list.
since I saw that one, but yeah, solid list. Next we got our our disappeared friend right now, Vinny. Vinny, well, at least we know he's still alive and still on the planet here because he's writing emails unless
Yes.
someone's writing it for him. But
You know he's still alive.
Vinny, it's good to hear from you, my friend. We miss you. Vinny's got a couple here. He's got his top 5 summer movies. National Lampoon's Vacation, which was on my list. Great call. The Sandlot, The Great Outdoors, Ferris Bueller, Heavyweights. And then honorable mentions, he's got a couple here. He's got Holes. Now, is this the Shia LaBeouf movie?
It is.
I never saw that.
You know, it was okay. I remember freshman year of high school, I had to read the book for English 1.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I love the book. The book was amazing. The movie's decent.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I it's funny. That's another one. You don't realize it's a summer movie, but yeah, it takes place out in the desert. They're out in the summer, digging for the treasure that was left behind. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's the Shia LaBeouf and is Henry Winkler in that movie? Is that who the dad is? I can't remember who the dad is. And John Voight and John Voight.
The dentist or the actor?
It took me a second to get that Seinfeld reference. But yeah, good list, Vinny.
So I was supposed to read that book in like 8th grade and it just never happened because I didn't read anything.
He also said Camp Nowhere, which I have no idea what Camp Nowhere is. Do you know?
I don't know what that is.
All right.
I don't know.
You go ahead and keep telling the rest of the list. I'll look
Vinny
it up.
is probably screaming into his phone right now or his whatever he listens to on Spotify. Yeah, you guys are idiots. So sorry, Vinny. Camp Nowhere. We might have to Google that one later. Weekend at Bernie's. Is that like a Jankowitz thing?
It must be a brother sister thing where they both love that movie. I missed the boat on that one too. I don't know what the deal is.
American Pie 2, which was on your list, Justin. Honorable mention.
It was one of my honorable mentions. Yes.
All right. So I feel like Vinny's main list it's kind of like a hybrid between ours because he's got some of your movies, he's got some of my movies, and some of them we both had listed. So that's cool. That's why he's so fitting for this podcast.
It says Camp Nowhere is a 1994 movie where Morris Mud Himmel has a problem. His parents are desperately wanting to send him away to summer camp. He hates the camp and would do anything to get out of it. So he hatches a plan to trick all the parents into sending them to a camp of his own design, which would actually be a parent-free paradise.
Oh.
So I feel like I've heard that idea before, but I've never seen the movie.
Who's in it?
A bunch of people.
We're getting off track here.
Oh, hey, that's what podcasting is all about, right?
Yes, it is. Content.
Jonathan Jackson, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Peter Scolari.
You say Peter Scolari. Okay, he's from. I know he's one of Tom Hanks's buddies.
Oh, we got Emmett Walsh, who is the writer from
Dickie Dunn,
and trying to catch the spirit of the thing,
Right, he's Tim's father-in-law in Home Improvement. Also,
Burgess Meredith's in it. Andrew Keegan. I think he was in 10 Things I Hate About You, if I'm not mistaken. So
that name sounds familiar.
And I think he started
did you say Joshua?
You
didn't say Josh. You didn't say Charlie Conway.
No, not him. No, some other Jackson.
Some other guy. Okay, all right.
So yeah, good list, Vinny. Good list.
Okay, Simpsons characters. Here we go. Abe Simpson, which I know he was asking about. Good call there. Ralph, Moe, Groundskeeper Willie, Sideshow Bob, honorable mentions, Barney, Apu, Snake, and Flanders. Snake, good call there. All great characters.
Snake's a good one.
Abe Simpson, that's a surprising for number 1. I kind of like that call.
Yeah, I think that's a good list.
Abe Simpson love. Yeah,
Flying Hellfish, right? Wasn't that his army group?
Yes.
Great episode.
Ralph's in there. Groundskeeper Willie, I know. Sideshow Bob, I love too. Kelsey Grammer does a great job with.
I love the episode where it's Kelsey Grammer, and then I can't think of his co-star in Frasier comes and plays his
who plays his brother Niles. Yeah,
yes, and he has a plan to destroy the Springfield Dam.
Yes, what's that actor? What's that actor's name?
I know. Yeah, now.
More to the Google.
It is David Hyde Pierce.
David Hyde Pierce.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Continuing on, another YouTube comment. We got our top 5 from. Oh God. I was gonna write this out phonetically.
Do you want me to? You want me to try and pronounce it for you?
I was gonna go with glucosamine chondroitin.
Sure, that sounds good to me.
All right, glucosamine, condom man, whatever your name is, write us in, and instead of your top 5, tell us what that's supposed to mean. Because if that's some medical term, like we don't know, we were of the.
I'm afraid to Google it on my work laptop. So
yeah, it might get flagged for that. Yeah. Anyway, our friend Glucose Condom is he writes in top 5 summer movies: The Sandlot, Stand By Me. There you go. Surf Ninjas, Big Wednesday, American Graffiti. I love American Graffiti. That was George Lucas before Star Wars. So that was an awesome movie. He also had Harrison Ford. You ever see that movie, Justin?
No, I have not.
You would like that movie. Like that movie. That's before Star Wars. It takes place in 1962.
Okay.
A very young Harrison Ford working with George Lucas before Star Wars, obviously. Very unknown. Ron Howard and Richard Dreyfuss in that movie. So
okay.
Go check that out. You might like that one. So
I feel like Surf Ninjas, I think I've seen. No, maybe not. I don't know. I was there another ninja movie with 3 brothers in the 90s that was really popular? Was it like God. And then there was like something Ninja Strike Back. I can't remember. It maybe
I don't know if this is related. What about Big Wednesday?
Big Wednesday, I've never heard of either.
Okay.
We're betting 1,000. We need to be more cultured, I guess.
Maybe we should watch more movies.
Big Wednesday is from 1978.
Okay.
The lives of some California surfers from the early 60s to the 70s.
Oh, okay.
All right, there you go.
All right.
It's a Gary Busey joint. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
So it's got to be good. And, Robert Englund's in it too. Huh.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right.
All right.
Check that out.
All right. Fair enough.
Good list. Good list.
Thank you as always for writing in. Keep it coming. That was a lot of good stuff right there because Justin and I, we think we're geniuses, but we haven't heard of most of this stuff actually. So keep educating us so we can,
please do.
Check out some new stuff. So Thank you again.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to get to the White Sox now. So Greg's question of the week this week that was on YouTube and in our podcast feed was, what should the Sox do now before the trade deadline? So should we go through some of our responses that we got from these?
I think that's a good idea. So I brought up, position needs. I think I brought up on the previous episode when I talked about Grandal going down that, that temporary hole at catcher, second base, maybe right field there because we got to replace the wonderful Adam Eaton now, who's now an LA Angel. Yeah, he's kind of like reuniting with like the old Chicago
someone else's problem
baseball
now.
Player, right? I mean, there's Quintana, there's Dexter Fowler, and all those guys. Joe Madden managing them, so they got little bit of ex-Chicago on that.
And
team.
They're still like near the bottom of the standings, even though they have the 2 best players in the league.
They're like right around 500.
Are they?
See, they are, but they just have no pitching. If they had
after
some
Ohtani,
pitching, if they had some pitching, they have superstars on their team.
Yeah.
If they had some pitching, they might actually be worth the damn, but they haven't gotten any sort of decent pitching in a while. Anyways, this is an Angels podcast because they don't give a shit. So trade deadline thoughts. A lot of you guys wrote in. Should we get to it, Justin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mostly came through on Facebook right here. So we got Tom from Facebook. Do we know Tom?
Yes. Tom, I played on a 14-inch softball co-ed team with his wife. So I know Tom. He would come to the games and kind of be like our he would keep a hold of the book for the stat purposes when they turn it into the league officials and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good job, Tom.
Good guy.
Tom wants to trade for Trevor Story. I would be totally fine with that.
You'd be totally fine. So if they traded, he'd have to move to second base, right?
He would have to move to second base, and he has a chance to win a World Series and play for the lovely Tony La Russa. So I don't understand what the problem is here. But I don't think he has a no trade clause either, so he really doesn't have a choice.
He's a bona fide all-star. I mean, he's a pretty good player. I know he's having a down year this year, so maybe you get him for cheaper. I don't know what the going rate for a rental is.
Man, I mean, what the Cardinals didn't get, or didn't really give away anything for Arenado, and he's making I know he's making a hell of a lot more money, but no, I'd be willing. I would give a piece. I like Trevor Story. He's really solid with the glove. But people think of him as for his bat. Mm-hmm. He's really solid defensively. So I would be willing to give a piece for him. Definitely. I mean, this is a contending year. I'm ready. It's just fun to be a buyer again.
It's been a while for the Sox.
Right. It has been. I mean, ever since we started this rebuild, it's been sell. So now it's fine to, get a couple dudes. So Tom, I'm totally on board for Trevor Story. I hope it happens. I hope something happens. So, Kris, we got a lot from Kris from Facebook, and I know Kris from your days as a young lad.
If you're listening, thank you for reaching out, man. I don't think I've talked to Kris probably a few times on Facebook here and there, but I think Kris and I played on the Little League team back in Oak Lawn back in the day, so good to hear from him, and thank you for reaching out, man.
Kris, thank you again. Kris from Facebook says, Sox should trade for Adam Frazier. I do agree with that too. Ideally, give up Jonathan Stever, Blake Rutherford, and another pitching prospect outside of the top 15. I like it.
I think that would work.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be enough, especially with Adam Frazier's club control and the season he's having. That Stever name might have to be that other pitching prospect might have to be a little bit higher than 15. I don't know though. I don't know. Blake Rutherford, I feel like, I know he's only like 24 or something, but I feel like he's been in the organization, for like 20 years, kind of like a Mike Rodolfo. He's always around there.
I was going to say, you're going to have to tell me, because I don't know anything about the Sox farm system at all.
For Sox fans out there, he's going to be like our next Courtney Hawkins, if that does anything for you guys. So, I was hoping to see Rutherford this year. I don't know how he's doing at Charlotte. I looked up the Charlotte box score today. It was in the 6th inning because I want to see how Eloy was doing, and Rutherford was on the bench with like a 2-something average, I believe. I don't know. Yeah, if we can get Rutherford out of here and Frazier in return, yes, by all means, make that trade happen. So. Mm-hmm. Continuing on, Kris also continues to write, if they could acquire Craig Kimbrel from the Chicago Cubs without giving up the farm, that would be great as a setup guy, but he isn't worth the stock they'd have to give up. So worthy backup would be Daniel Bard for Jimmy Lambert. I think Daniel Bard is on Colorado.
Yes, I believe you're right.
For Jimmy Lambert, another pitching prospect outside of the top 30 in money. Here's the thing. I think Kimbrel's that's probably what the Cubs' biggest trade piece.
Yeah.
That's an extra year of control. Plus he's having an all-star season, bullpen pitcher. That might be the Cubs, return right there, because that's the only non-rental that they're going to be shipping out.
Yeah, correct.
Unless they ship out Contreras also. But yeah, that might cost you something. You know what? If Kimbrel can give us some more stability in the bullpen, and the bullpens come around, but it's almost like you can never have enough bullpen dudes,
right?
Especially with Kimbrel and his dominance this year. If a trade can happen, that one might hurt a little bit. But to tell you the truth, you tell me Craig Kimbrel's name a year or two ago, I'm just like, no way, man.
No chance. Yeah, it's amazing what's changed.
Yeah, this year's kind of a different story because he's been really solid. And The Sox are contending, and we have a solid closer in Liam Hendriks. So if Kimbrel becomes an 8th inning guy, or an occasional save opportunity comes about, that's a pretty good solid piece to have in the bullpen. So,
oh yeah, I mean, can you imagine having a setup guy of Kimbrel, this year's Kimbrel, and then go to Liam Hendriks to close out the game?
To me, that screams like 2015 Royals to me, when they had Kelvin Herrera, Wade Davis, and Greg Holland, kind of like that three. There was like 7, 8, 9. Those were their jobs.
All they had to do was get to the 7th inning, and they were
exactly. And so if we could have something like that without having to shaking our seats with like a Matt Foster or Cody Hoyer, I am all in on that one. That trade might hurt a little bit though. So
yeah.
So that might if that happens, that might get mixed reviews. I certainly would be happy with it, but I'd be like, "Ooh, yeah, we gave the Cubbies this guy, a little bit of revenge of the Eloy Quintana trade, which was we're coming up on an anniversary of that soon, aren't we? I think that happened.
Try not to remember that one.
So
talk about one that didn't pan out at all.
Well, according to Gordon Wittenmeyer, the Cubs still won that trade because Eloy and Dylan Cease, haven't proven themselves yet. So
Quintana's not even on the team anymore. So
yeah, I would say that the Cubs would really benefit from a guy like Cease and Jimenez in their lineup. So I don't know what that says about
Gordon Wittenmeyer says a lot of things. I can hear Vinny screaming right now.
That's his number one guy right there. Yeah. This is like we're torturing Vinny podcast. So Kris, that is a lot of great stuff you wrote in. Thank you. Keep it coming. I love your White Sox takes right here. So I agree with Tom and Kris. I agree with everything you guys said. I really like the thoughts, and I'm glad you guys are on board with getting some key pieces here so we can kind of lock this thing down a little bit.
For sure. Greg, you got any other Sox? I know it's been kind of a slow week since they haven't been in the All-Star break, but have you got any other Sox information you want to get out there before we move on?
No, I think I just want to talk about our guys at the All-Star game a little bit.
Sure.
The All-Star game, God bless it. I got some really nice sleep during the game. But I did get to see the cool things. I'll just talk about our guys right here. Rodon didn't pitch, but Hendriks got the save and he was mic'd up.
That was probably the best part of the game for me.
Yeah.
Why they chose to mic him up when that's how he is. I don't know why.
He's just a loon out there that I just love the Australian accent.
Yeah.
Too. That just makes him like so much cooler for me, and all his weird antics and everything. And he just looks like a dude from the Outback.
Yeah. So, I keep thinking of like what's the movie, like a Mad Max style, like
post-apocalyptic right
background.
Seems very fitting for him. I did watch Lance Lynn pitch his one inning. I think he came in after Ohtani, and he did fine. And Timmy didn't get in at bat, but he did play some shortstop there. So it was nice to see some multiple guys in the White Sox once again make the All-Star team.
Was there any reason in particular why they didn't put Rodon in?
I don't know. It could have been at his request, by that. Obviously I would have loved to seen him pitch because he's having an amazing season, obviously. So I don't know what happened behind that. I got to see if there was a reason behind it, or maybe he's got a start coming up here against Houston, so maybe they're just trying to save him up. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm more okay with the guys just kind of making the team and getting the nod and the recognition, or even if it's like they get a little bonus in their contract for being an all-star. Right. If they don't play, I mean they don't play or whatever.
I feel like too, with a pitcher, you want to save those bullets for later in the season. So
totally.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
Well, the Cubs collapse continues, even though they're not playing. So this was probably the most important or the biggest thing I took away from this week is that Wilson Contreras was interviewed, I want to say this weekend. or Monday. I can't remember what day it was, but he was interviewed, and here's his quote. He said, "I'm just going to keep doing my job. The way I play is not going to change. That's on everybody else's work ethic and job. I cannot ask everybody to play like Javi Baez and I play. Everybody's different. I know they might be tired, but I'm here to win. I'm here to compete. That's what I like to have from everybody else." All right. So then David Ross came out and said he was very unhappy that Contreras went to the media with that. I don't know. What's your take on that whole thing, Greg? Like, I like Contreras, and I mean, you can tell he tries. It matters to him that he does well and the team does well. But should that have stayed in-house, or do you think that was the right thing to do and put him on blast because they're just doing so poorly now?
You know what? I think after this long, disastrous losing streak that they were going through, I think, you got a lot of pissed off guys in the clubhouse, or maybe on the opposite side, maybe some guys, lack thereof, that maybe he doesn't think, or is taking things too seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly who he's referring to.
I'd love to know.
He got into a spat with Rizzo a little while ago. So I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's strange.
I'm a little surprised. Now, I know Rossi was mostly upset that he went to the reporters with this, right? And just kind of kept it in the clubhouse or whatever. Yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, come on, Ross, you're a red ass, catcher yourself. I mean, calling guys out is your thing. Maybe calling them out in the media. Yeah, that's different. But, I think Wilson is just, he's just pissed already, and he knows he's there for another year if he's not traded. So
I'm
I don't know.
To wonder, do you think Ross has lost the clubhouse?
When stuff like this happens, when when you're stuck in a long losing streak like this, and you have players, for lack of a better word, turning a little bit, whether it's on you or on the clubhouse. There's always a question that arises, like, does he have, is that culture, kind of, taking an ugly turn right there? Is that clubhouse getting a little toxic? And, long losing streaks, bad play, that can certainly do it to you. So it's a fair question. And, he might be, which is surprising because a lot of the guys still know him and everything, but I don't know, like, what exactly he's doing.
Right.
How much is Jed Hoyer involved with just managing everything that's going on. Yeah. I know that's really more Rossi's thing, but it's an interesting point. I mean, he maybe, I know, after this kind of all, resolves, if it even did, that they're just, I know they want to come off strong after this, after the All-Star break. I mean, they got Arizona, so I guess you really do have to come out strong.
If you lose against them too, oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, after something like that, I lean more to the side like, hey, use that instead of, bashing the guy, saying you shouldn't have done that. Use that as motivation.
Yeah. Be like your teammates are pissed.
Right. Any kind of motivation you can get at this point, whether the guy was right or wrong. I mean, you got to use it because, well, I mean, on the other side too, your season's kind of tanking now, but
yeah.
You're still playing Major League Baseball here. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just like we've been saying these many episodes, the Cubs situation this season has just been so,
it's just a dumpster fire.
Goofy.
I mean, it's
so
well, and then that brings me to my next point is then they interviewed Kimbrel and he says, oh, well, Contreras wasn't talking about anybody in particular. He wasn't pointing fingers at anyone. It's like, okay, well, that I don't buy that for a second, because then why would you come out and say, I can't control the way everyone plays. They don't play like me and Javi.
Right. Well, at least Kimbrel knows that he's not pointing the finger at him because he's been solid. And
but I mean,
so good, but
yeah, I don't.
They're probably. I mean, we probably won't know, but yeah, I'm sure there are
something's
guys.
Going on.
Yeah. I mean, that spat with Rizzo. I mean, I know Contreras not afraid to get in someone's face, but none of those guys are. But it's always kind of like when you're always approached by a team member or something, it's because you are not. It's usually because you are not putting, your full effort in,
right?
Something along those lines,
right?
An infamous guy that would always, show that lack of hustle was, I don't know if you remember guy named BJ Upton.
Of course.
He was always a guy that, kind of lacked the hustle a little bit. Different team members on different teams would kind of get in his face a little bit. I know it happened with Tampa Bay a lot. So yeah, I don't know. That's definitely got to be part of it. So,
well, we'll see. July is going to be an interesting month for the Cubs. I mean, because really, you look at 2 weeks from today, 2.5 weeks from today, they could have a totally different looking team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys could be going sooner than we think. I mean, I think Bryant and Kimbrel are the two big names that pop up here, but you still got Baez, and do we even consider Rizzo at this point? So
it blows my mind if they can't come to terms with something with Bryant. And again, I know he's going to ask for a lot of money. I know he gets streaky at times where he doesn't produce. He's also injury prone a little bit.
Right.
But you have a guy who, I mean, is an all-star and a former MVP and a former Rookie of the Year, right? He won Rookie of the Year.
He won Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and again, you don't want to constantly be looking back on accolades. You want to predict what's coming forward. But you take him off this team, you're now losing somebody, a good third baseman. You're losing a good left fielder, a good right fielder.
Yeah.
A good
center fielder.
A good
solid center fielder,
Well, and that was the other thing is they interviewed him during the MLB All-Star Game red carpet that they rolled out for everybody, which was kind of cool to see, them come up with their families and their kids and everything. And he said, if I had to pick one position going forward, I want to play as center field, which totally surprised me. But I would take him over Ian Happ any day.
Oh, sure.
Ian Happ is garbage this year. Absolute garbage. So, it's just a shame. You let him go. You're just creating a gaping hole now on the team that you're not going to get decent return back. I mean, you're not going to get what you want. And if you do get something back decent, it's not going to be here for years to come. Right. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
They can always sign him in the offseason too.
That's true.
If he doesn't accept an extension with the team he gets traded to.
That's true. That's true.
Jed Hoyer can be like, hey, just kind of keep us in mind. Maybe we can work something like, I don't know if that's actually happening. Yeah. It probably isn't.
No.
But,
it's always a possibility.
Yeah, it's always a possibility to get something as a rental return. I know
they interviewed Jesse Rogers I can't remember what he was on. I know he works for ESPN. He's an ESPN writer, but he was saying that based on what he's hearing, it doesn't sound like any of those guys, maybe Kimbrel, but Baez, Rizzo, and Bryant, it sounds like none of them might be traded now because there's no takers.
There's no takers.
So, because I feel like at this point with the trade deadline, that the hot stove talk would start to heat up a little bit. You'd start to hear rumors of maybe Bryant's going to go to them. I keep hearing Bryant to the Mets. I don't know if that's been
the latest one. That's just kind of the latest heat on that one.
Yeah.
And I mean, when he's receiving anonymous, phone calls and texts, from supposedly the Mets or whatever, saying, "Hey, welcome to New York." So I don't know if it's inevitable at this point that we'll see Kris Bryant in Mets uniform. So, I'll still take him on the White Sox. I'll give you guys some stuff for him.
I do know. Yeah. So he got into the All-Star game, going back to when you were talking about the Sox and the All-Star game, Bryant played, I believe, left field, got to hit, didn't do much, but they, Joe Buck, had to interview him. And he said, I have to ask you the question you don't want to hear is, going on about being traded. Well, I guess, Kris Bryant's dad was very unhappy that he was asked that. He said that was very unprofessional of Joe Buck to ask that, which I disagree with that. I mean, it's a baseball game. You want to know what team he's going to be playing on. The fans want to know. That's not an unprofessional question in my mind.
Is his dad really surprised by that question?
Come on. It comes with the territory.
The guy's been asked that question for like the past 3 years almost.
Yeah. So, and I mean, to Kris Bryant's credit, he answered it very well. He said, as long as I got this Cubs logo on my jersey, I'm going to do everything I can. I love this city, so he answered it the right way, and that's about all you can do. So, and then Kimbrel obviously pitched pretty well, but wasn't a factor at that point.
Yeah, he just got what,
2/3 of an inning, I think.
2/3 of an inning, I think.
Yeah.
So, which is got in the game, which is fine. So
the last bit of Cubs talk, our resident statistician or glorified fact checker, as Vinny likes to call himself, looked up some stats from earlier in the year. Yu Darvish was traded for a variety of prospects, and he looked up how those prospects are doing, which made me kind of depressed for some of them. So Yu Darvish was traded for the following 4 players: Owen Cassie, Ishmael Mina, Reginald Presidio, Yeltsin Santana. So those guys are pretty much all in the Arizona Rookie League right now, which is the ACL, and one of them has made it to Class A Myrtle Beach, which I found today. Did you know the Myrtle Beach Pelicans actually, instead of having a bat boy, they have a bat dog? The dog goes up and grabs the bat. I thought that was awesome.
The dog goes up?
The dog goes up, grabs the bat, and then also brings balls to the umpire. I thought that was so cool. But anyway.
But is it all like slobbery, though?
It might be.
Is that like a? Is that
it's
like
another sticky substance they got to worry about?
Is that like a sticky or a spitball ploy or something?
The balls were in like a ball bag. So at least they had that.
Right,
but I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, let's start with Owen Cassie. He is in the Arizona Rookie League right now. He's batting .333, a .533 on base, and a .524 slugging. So for a rookie in the Rookie League, I would assume that's doing pretty well.
That slash line looks nice.
Slash line looks good.
.533 on base. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that any day.
It's not like 5 games or something, is it?
No, I don't think so. But I would imagine the Arizona Rookie League doesn't have the highest potential in there. Then we got Ishmael Mina. He is batting .195, a .298 on base, and a .244 slugging. So I don't know.
I love that the slugging's lower than the on base.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. Reginald Presidio, also in the Arizona Rookie League, is batting .395, .490 on base, and a .581 slugging. So there might be something there. We'll see. And then Yeltsin Santana, who is in the Arizona Rookie League and Class A, is batting .145, .250 on base, and a .169 slugging. So
.169 slugging?
I don't even know how that's possible, to be honest. But good to see that the prospects the Cubs managed to fleece from San Diego are doing so well in the lowest league they can play in.
Right. So 2 of these are outfielders and 2 of these are infielders. Right. Yes. I forgot they didn't get any pitching.
No. Why would you need pitching prospects?
They probably should have. But yeah. So it goes good, bad. But I mean,
and even the good, how good is that in that?
I don't even know how. I mean, I just read. It's just. I mean, yeah, those are the numbers. I don't know how many games they played.
Yeah,
it's almost like you just have to see what they're about. You know, look at their swing. Look at how they play defense or whatever. So. That's what I'm concerned about this moment. I'm glad he wrote these names down because we should be tracking these guys because if we keep this podcast up,
maybe
for the next several years, which I plan to because
got nothing else to do, right?
No, and I believe this will be my future career. Just saying that
works for me.
Which I will make a very healthy fortune. Not really. But
can you imagine if we did this with the salaries we make now, though? How much fun that would be?
Oh my God, I would work like so much harder with so much enthusiasm and be so much more productive and just live a happier life. So not saying my life isn't great.
No, of course not.
If I just had that, had that little bit of more motivation to go into work, but I don't. So yeah. Anywho,
let's
stop talking about our day jobs here.
That's all I got for the Cubs. We'll see, how they get back against Arizona. I'm going to go on a limb and say Arizona takes 2 or 3 out of that series. I'm not being too optimistic, but we'll see. I've been wrong before. A couple other little tidbits and hits from around Major League Baseball. The Home Run Derby, I watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought they did a great job. The StatCast is the one I watched, which I think was on ESPN2, and that was with Jason Benetti. It was great to see the launch angles and exit velocity. I'm not the biggest launch angle guy, but just seeing the stats that they were providing was really cool. Yeah. I know they had trouble keeping up because they didn't have to wait for the ball to land this year, so that's something they can work on next year in terms of televising it. But I thought it was great. I was really pulling for Trey Mancini. I really thought he was going to win it. It would have been a great story, but Pete Alonso came out and just, man, he made it look
perfect. Easy. Yeah. He looked like he was putting almost no effort into it. And God bless Mancini for being in the finals. That was awesome to see.
That was great to
see. I was pulling for him too.
Yeah.
But I knew you just kind of knew.
Once I saw Pete Alonso, I'm like, I don't think you're gonna pull this one out.
He made it look easy. You could tell Trey Mancini was tiring, but man, dude, that he was on. He had some pop going.
Yeah.
That night. So
that was
a
success.
It was a good derby.
I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun.
The other thing is I did watch the All-Star. I watched the whole All-Star game this year. I usually don't.
Look at you.
Yeah,
I was going to say, we were talking about that. I'm like, I'm always going to go about the All-Star game. And here I am like falling asleep.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was reading for a little while. I was playing Nintendo Switch while I was listening to it a little bit here and there. So I didn't have my full attention on it. First of all, I thought the jerseys looked better in person, but I still think they should just let them wear their normal uniforms, because I'll be honest, there was a lot of players I didn't know who they were because I didn't know what teams they played for. And I'm not familiar with all the East Coast teams, West Coast for that matter too.
There used to be really cool All-Star uniforms that they would just wear for the Derby. Like,
they didn't wear them for the Home Run Derby this year.
Right, they flipped it. It was like, why can't we just get the cool,
make a cool hat, let them wear their uniform and call it a day.
There you go.
But I don't know. So I thought it was decent. I really liked the on-field interviews. I thought Fernando Tatis was a great interview. Not getting to see the San Diego games, only reading the box scores. It was kind of cool to see his personality. Seems like a great guy. I want to say it was Freddie Freeman's son was on. They showed him on Twitter.
Yeah.
He went up and got a hug from Tatis and he was trying to talk to him. And so I'm like, that's really cool. It kind of humanizes these guys a little bit. The other interview I liked was Ozzie Albies, who, I mean, I know he plays for the Braves, but I don't know much about him. But another guy seemed like a really decent guy. I mean, what you can tell from a 1-inning interview, I don't know if that's enough, but seemed like a decent guy. It was really cool to hear his viewpoint. And again, getting these guys out there and getting to see who they are is good. That's good for the game. You have all these stars that are up and coming and they're young and they can really take charge.
And nobody
give them the mic.
Right. No one knows who they are just quite
what
yet.
They look
Hopefully
like. Right.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have seen Fernando here, but we won't get into that.
Hey, big game James. That's all that matters.
James. You got to see plenty of him, give up long balls.
Well, it was only for maybe 3 and 4 innings at a time, right?
But, yeah.
If that.
Yeah, good point.
So the last thing before we switch on to our whatever section is Greg also brought this up in his question of the week. He said, what are your thoughts on the Duncan Keith trade and Duncan Keith memories in general? I got to say is I feel like I'm like the resident hockey guy on the podcast, right? I guess.
Without a doubt.
As I have all my hockey shit behind me. But anyway, it's one of those things where obviously he's kind of slowing down. Nothing of his own fault. I think that's what happens when you play. I had to look this up. He's played over 1,200 regular season games.
How old is Duncan Keith?
30. He turns 38 next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he's played over 1,200 games. That's a lot of mileage. His average ice time for each game was 25 minutes, which for a defenseman, that's high. I mean, 21, 22 is a lot, but 25, I mean, chances are he's playing 27, 28 more than not. And that's not taking into account all the deep cup runs the Hawks had. That's not taking into all the Olympic runs that Team Canada had. So he's got a lot of mileage on the tank, and it's just natural. You're 38, you're going to start to slow down. His decision making was kind of a little lackadaisical at times last season. I mean, that's easy for me to say sitting here behind my bar on a podcast, but but I mean, he is a Hall of Famer for sure. I would put him on the Mount Rushmore of great Hawks. I mean, in terms of best defenseman the Hawks had, he's definitely in the running. With Pierre Pilote, I would say. I mean, the fact that we got to see him play for this many years is awesome. The great thing, though, about this trade is they fleeced the Oilers. The Oilers are probably the dumbest organization in the NHL. They have the best player in the league in Connor McDavid. They have the second best player in the league, probably in Leon Draisaitl, and they still can't get anything done. They are so poorly run, so poorly managed. The funniest thing about this trade is the Hawks didn't have to keep or pay any of his salary. The Oilers took all of the salary.
They took on all his salary. They took
all 4 to 5 million. I can't remember the exact number, but all the salary. And then they gave, a couple. They gave what's his name? Connor Jones? No, Caleb Jones. Thank you, Caleb Jones. Who, the conspiracy person in me wants to get all excited because that is Seth Jones' brother, and Seth Jones is probably one of the big names that the Hawks might try and get as a replacement. He's a really good young defenseman. He plays in Columbus. He's kind of had enough in Columbus. He wants out. So what better place to go than to get to play with your brother in Chicago. So I'm hoping that that's kind of the background idea to this trade.
Are they pulling off some White Sox stuff? Is this like a move to get their Manny Machado, get the brother-in-law, get the best friend?
If you ask them, I'm sure they would say no. But I hope it does
for them. Yeah, hopefully
it didn't work for us. No, it didn't.
It could have, but it didn't.
He was a great player. There's a bunch of memories I have of seeing him play. Like I said, it was just great to see. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder because we have a lot of people that wrote in about this. So I guess I'll take this first one, Greg. This is from Melissa on Facebook.
You take them all.
You want me to take them all? All right.
This is all. I don't understand
Melissa
what
on
this
Facebook.
Stuff means.
She said him returning after one shift when losing his teeth in the 2010 series against San Jose. I think that lives up in infamy with everyone pretty much had that. I can't imagine what it was like to lose all your front teeth and then literally get shot up with Novocaine or whatever they gave him, stick some gauze in his mouth and get right back out there. And he didn't miss a beat. Just goes to show how tough hockey players are. Because I think any other sport, if I got hit in the face with anything, I think I'd be out for a while, but that's just me. So,
baseball players, they get hit in the face, and then we institute this whole chin guard thing.
Yes.
That's what it's about hockey, These guys got that little the dinkiest helmets on.
Yeah, they're not
some players wear, visors.
Visor, yeah.
That puck gets you, you're done, man.
Yeah, So they're another breed. Not
it's like
always,
it doesn't even affect them,
No, I would also say not always the smartest because sometimes they probably should take a couple games off and get looked at, but they want to run right back out there. So I can admit I have not gotten hurt. Thankfully, knock on wood, when I've growing up playing hockey. But if I would have taken a puck to the teeth, I would have been done for the season.
Sidney Crosby take a puck to the teeth a couple years? I was watching this game.
He might have.
Sidney Crosby, I got a tooth or something knocked out. Yeah, I was like, geez, but he got right back.
Right back up. Yeah, It's strange when you're on the ice. I took a puck off my ankle once and I still didn't want to come off, but I couldn't feel my ankle, so I needed to get off the ice. The other thing that Melissa brought up, which was a really good PR move they did, was a couple years ago, or probably half a decade to a decade ago now, they did the What's Your Goal, where they had certain players do commercials with fans, that had certain situations. And he did one with a little girl named Cammie, who I can't remember what condition she had. It might've been cerebral palsy. Couldn't really talk, nonverbal, and couldn't really, get around very easily, but they took her out and he pushed her around on a device that let her ice skate for, I want to say, the first time or something like that, which was just awesome. It just goes to show he was fairly down to earth. He does a lot of charity in Chicago as well. My buddy Greg, he said Eddie Olczyk, referring to him as Duncan Keith. And then obviously the Duncan game was a big one. Oh, Melissa also had the luxury of getting to meet him a few times because she knows the Blackhawks massage therapist, Pavel Perlinsky, I believe is his name. I've met him too. He's a very nice guy. So she got to meet him a few times as well. Said he was a nice guy. Christy on Facebook, she's a huge Hawks fan. I work with her. She's also a huge, oh God, I just drew a blank. The bread man. What's his name? God, feel like a horrible hockey fan now. Artemi Panarin. Thank you. He used to be a Hawk. He was really good. Then they traded him. She's a huge Panarin fan as well. She goes out to New York to see the games. I think she used to go to Columbus too when he was on Columbus's team. But anyway, she said the goal he had to eliminate Nashville in 2015 and move on to the second round was awesome. I do remember that. I had to look it up on YouTube to see it again, but it was great. He's going back and forth on the blue line, kind of taking his time, deciding if he's going to make a pass or not. And instead, he just winds up and takes a slap shot from the blue line, goes right past Pekka Rinne, who just retired the other day, and sends the Hawks onto the second round for their third Stanley Cup. So that was a good one. Gina on Facebook, who is Tom's wife that I mentioned earlier with the White Sox, she also said the What's Your Goal Cammie commercial was her favorite. And then our main guy, Vince, both of our father-in-law, he felt the Keith move was a good move for both. Keith gets closer to be with his son. I'm glad Vince brought that up. That was the main reason Keith wanted to be traded. I know him and his wife are they've been divorced for some time now, but his son lives in Western Canada. So he had said he'd prefer to go to the Oilers, Flames, or the Canucks, which are all in Western Canada. So the Hawks were doing him a solid here, which is what's funny is Edmonton knew that they had all the leverage because this is what Keith wanted. The Hawks were at their whim, and they still said, "Oh yeah, we'll pay all his salary," which just blows my mind.
Nice.
So Vince goes on to say the Hawks get rid of some dead weight. Again, we talked about he was kind of losing his luster a little bit there. He was an awesome defenseman, he says, but he was past his prime. I would agree with that. You're only going to get diminishing returns. Hopefully he can eventually retire a Blackhawk. I could see him coming back, signing a one-day contract and getting his number retired for sure. The Hawks get something, so that's a win. He also said his favorite Keith memories, again, getting his teeth knocked out. And then the second one is when at the first Stanley Cup parade, he asked if anyone knew a good dentist, which got a huge laugh from, I think there was a couple million people there. So that's it. We'll keep the hockey talk abbreviated there because I know that's not for everybody, but I thought that was a great thing to bring up, Greg. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. No, it was fun. I'm glad to see we got all the
a lot of reactions,
all the response. And I was genuinely curious because that's a Hawks legend going away right now. And I've kind of tuned off for the Blackhawks a little bit.
It's been rough the last couple of years.
Other than what you keep me informed with, Justin. So it was kind of nice to see what everyone's thoughts were about it. So
totally. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. It's just it's crazy to think there's only 2 players left from the Cup runs. Do you know who those 2 players are, Greg?
Kane and Taves, right?
That's it. Everyone else is gone or retired.
Wow.
Most of them are all retired.
Yeah, didn't like Andrew Shaw come back for?
He came back to the Hawks, and then he retired this season. He had too many concussions, so he was still on the roster. He got traded back to Montreal. Yeah,
but that's it then, right?
That's it. There's no one else. They're all gone.
My guy Dustin Byfuglien's not even in the league anymore.
No,
right?
he kind of said he didn't want to play anymore, and then the Jets. I don't know if they terminated his contract, put him on waivers, and that was it. He's done. So
what's Nicholas Hjalmarsson up to?
He is. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. He is currently on the Arizona Coyotes, but he might retire because I know he had some injuries last year too. He's kind of, I think, one of the unsung heroes. I think looking back, I almost think he had a bigger role than Brent Seabrook in terms of defense. So
I was a big fan
great
of
player.
His, yeah,
great player. So, all right, we're going to move on to the whatever section. We're going to talk about our top 5 sports logos. For me, these are just logos. I see them. They make me happy for a variety of reasons.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Justin, because that's exactly what, I was saying. Like these logos I chose really have no, they're not the classic ones. They're not the nostalgic ones. These are ones that just, I'm like, you know what? That looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it was hard.
It was
hard to do.
It was. I have my 5, and I had to even pare down my honorable mentions because I had about 10 honorable mentions, and I figure I'm not going to do that. So for me, a lot of these were teams that I either liked or had a passing interest in growing up. And obviously with that little bit of fandom, you kind of like the logo, you grow to like it. But yeah, so why don't Greg, you want to get us started off? What is your the other thing I should say is to kind of vary our list up. We banned any Chicago logo. Otherwise, I'm sure between the Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, White Sox, and Cubs, they would probably take up half of our list, or at least maybe 1 or 2, I would imagine, right?
I would. I think I would have. I know I'd have the Hawks and White Sox on there for sure.
I'm not even a White Sox fan, and I still love that 83 Batterman logo.
Yeah, so, I was actually going to bring that up in the honorable mentions, just to kind of mess with it a little bit. I'll just mention it now before we get started. Well, actually, what they have on their spring training uniforms, the little batter with the SOX, right below it. I think that's such a cool logo, man. Just the way they do that like that. I'm like, that could be. I kind of wish that was an alternate, other than I'm not the biggest fan of like the regular 83 ones, the white, red, blue. It's like, I could do without.
Yeah, take that 80 logo, put it in black, white, and call it a day. I think you're done. Totally. So, all right, well, let's kick us off. Greg, what's your number 5 favorite sports logo of all time?
I know I think we mentioned this logo on a lot of our podcasts, but I had trouble with this one, Justin. I just throwing everything back and forth, and you're just like, you know what, I'll just throw it on my list because I absolutely love it. I know we've talked about this jersey, this team before. It's probably on your list, but you don't have to mention it.
No, I won't say anything. I think I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with I'm going with ye old Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Duck goalie mask with the hockey sticks.
That's a classic.
Like a pirate in the bag. It's just awesome.
You know what I find funny about that logo too is that you have so many older hockey fans. I'm talking like probably people in their 50s and above. Yeah. They think that logo is so dumb. It's a Mickey Mouse team. It's stupid. Yeah. But then you talk to hockey fans that are our age and younger,
yeah,
they love that logo.
It's so nostalgic for us, and it's something. I know that's what I identify hockey with. Before I even got into the Blackhawks or paid attention to the Blackhawks, even in some of the Blackhawks, rough years before they got good. It was like hockey for me was the Mighty Ducks. So I was playing a hockey video game.
Yeah,
my team was
the Mighty Ducks.
The Ducks. So and that goes for the hockey. I even loved the when they got away from that the web D or whatever. Like I thought that was fine, but the hockey match with the sticks. I mean, that was just so iconic for me. And it was going to be a honorable mention, but it's like I got to have it on my list because I love it, especially with like the dark eggplant and like the jade. I think that is just such
a good look.
Such a hot.
It's a great logo, like you said. That's what hockey is to me. It's just it's so good, and I'm glad that the team. I wasn't a huge fan of the for a while. They just had the Ducks script, which was really boring.
Yeah, and then they
swapped to the D, the webbed D, and then they started using the goalie mask with the sticks, but with orange and black. Which I'm like, all right, that's a good middle ground to find. If you're not, I think the eggplant and jade is awesome because nobody uses those colors.
Right,
orange and black is common, but
I actually had that on my alternates when we did our uniform.
Yes, that's right.
As on my top 5, which is just a fantastic look for a hockey team. So
that is a great pick, Greg. Great pick.
Thank you.
All right. Well, my number 5, not to be outdone. Hold on. I actually found all my hats because I have all these logos on hats.
Oh, Justin's got show and tell.
I got show and tell for our video fans. So,
all right.
All right. So my number 5 is actually probably within a few miles of where the Mighty Ducks play. Any guess?
Oh, here we go.
You want to guess?
Anaheim. So hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
Is it?
The LA Kings.
I was going to say the Kings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I'm like, wait, are you just saying hockey in general?
No. I was going to say hockey as a sport because we're doing all sports here.
Yes.
So, that was actually my guess.
So
in all honesty,
if you're listening to the audio, I apologize. I'm sure this makes for great audio, but this is So I had to find this a couple of years ago online. Hold on, I can tell you the exact years because I was a nerd and looked them up. The 1988 to 1998 LA Kings primary logo. It is just it's got Los Angeles Kings. It's got the small crown. It is literally just a little like family, like a crest, I guess you would say. There's nothing too crazy about it, but like you, Greg, when I was a kid, if I wasn't the Ducks or the Maple Leafs, the Kings were my go-to.
The Kings, there
black.
You go.
You can't go wrong with a black and white look. I think maybe the White Sox, it's a cool look, but for the Kings, I love that look. I love that logo.
Black and white right now.
There you go.
It's everything you need.
That logo to me screams 90s. It makes me think of Wayne Gretzky and Yari Curry and Luc Robitaille, who were some of my favorites growing up. So that is a great one. That is my number 5, the LA Kings 1988 to 98.
LA Kings hockey. My number 5 is hockey.
Hockey. Yes. I just kept thinking of that SNL skit with, what's his shoot, he's from Chicago. What's his name? I can't think of his name now. Man, I'm having a really bad day remembering stuff. Where he's like,
you're still on SNL. You still watch it.
I still watch.
SNL
yeah, we watch it every week. Some weeks are really good and then other weeks are really bad. So Number 4.
Number 4. Now this has jumped onto my list more recently.
Okay.
This might be an oddball one right here, but I love this team name. I don't really know anything about. I've never watched them play or anything because I don't know how you watch them play.
Okay.
They're a single A team, Justin.
Oh God, I didn't even think about single A teams. Damn it.
I still stuck with professional. I didn't pick like my high school, uniform, whatever, because that was just bullshit anyway. Sure. But the Hillsboro, Oregon Hops.
Oh, I know exactly what that looks. I know what that looks like.
Yes, I think they were founded in, I think they've only been less than 10 years. They've been an organization. They're affiliated with the Diamondbacks. I feel like they've always been affiliated with the Diamondbacks. Hillsboro, Oregon, the hops. Here's a hop flower, that is on a hat. I think they're like navy blue and green, which are awesome colors. And you know what? It has to do with beer.
Yeah.
And
you can't go wrong.
as a great lover of craft IPA, I appreciate as many hops you can pack into a bottle as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's, like those West Coast IPAs are a lot hoppier than some of those New England citrusy ones, but I think it's just an awesome logo. And as the more I thought about it today, I'm gonna get a hat. So
I'm glad you bring that up, because that was what I was going to ask. Is there's so many logos I like that I don't even really care about the team, and I have to like hold myself back from buying a bunch more hats that I don't need. So maybe
at least you hold yourself back.
Well, maybe you can talk me into kind of maybe buying a few. I mean, my closet, I might have a whole shelf full of hats that.
Well, that's okay. That's kind of like what I have. As we qualified this earlier, is like these are visuals.
Yes.
These are images that appeal to us.
And you have gotten me. I was never into this, and I don't know if I can pull it off being, the white suburban guy, but you have totally gotten me into the flat brim hat.
Yeah.
I've never worn those until I think I met you. And then I started buying. I'm like, oh, those are actually kind of cool. I like those. So
best hats ever. I'm wearing one right now.
You are.
Aren't we the same size? 7.5?
7.5. Yeah,
7.5. Yeah. No, I've always worn the flat brims fitted hats.
I like those, and I like the easy fitted 47 brand franchise hats too. I like those too.
Totally.
All right.
Your turn, Justin.
My turn. All right. I got another hat. Here we go. Right. Number 4. I will admit the reason this logo is one of my favorites is because this was my this was one of the Little League teams I played on. Actually, I think this was the team that my buddy Kris that emailed in. I think he played on this team with me. So I love the color scheme.
I think I have an idea, but
I'm real original. I know. So what am I trying to say? My number 4 is the 1992 to 2003 San Diego Padres, the primary logo, not just the SD, but we're going with the actual like crest. One of my favorites.
That is a great call.
I love that logo. I'll hold it there one more time.
Was an honorable mention for me. It's not it's better than I thought you were.
What were you going to go with? Well, what did you think?
I thought you were going with, well, I don't want to spoil it.
All right. It's still on the list.
So I'll save it for after we're done.
Okay.
That is a fantastic call. And those colors are that brown and orange.
I think I wore it on one of the other. I'm sure I wore it on one of the episodes. I have an easy fitted one with just the orange SD.
Sure.
I'm sorry, not orange and white SD on a navy hat. So I have that too. But yeah,
are you happy they went back to brown couple years ago?
I would have obviously preferred the navy and orange, but considering I was so pissed when they made that switch to like just the blue. I'm like, everyone's blue.
They kind of did like Yankees colors for a little bit, just like navy and white. Yeah,
there's no differentiation from so many other teams who have classic looks. So I know if they can't have the orange and navy that I grew up with, and I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah,
I love their look now, so I'm totally on board with the brown and gold or brown and yellow, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like a brownish yellow with gold they're going with now, but they still rock those as alternates. Yeah, it's like throwbacks.
I don't know if I would buy a hat because I don't really want a brown hat. But I don't know.
I think I'm going to buy one.
Okay. Let me know what it looks. I wouldn't mind getting one with the swinging fryer on it too. I
love the color brown for whatever reason. I know it's like the color of shit or
I like the brown and gold is a great color scheme.
Yeah.
It's a great color scheme. So that is my number 4, the 92 to 03 San Diego Padres primary logo.
I love it. I think it's a great call. And I'm very happy you said that one because I was hovering. There's a lot of Padres logos out there.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Padres. I'm like, ooh. So I definitely had some floating around the honorable mentions. It's like, I didn't know which way to go.
They've always been like, granted, I don't get to watch their games really, but I always kind of follow them. They're like my other NL team that I root for. Which I know a lot of Cubs fans don't like that because they eliminated the Cubs in the 84 playoffs, but I wasn't born yet, so I don't care.
There you go. It's irrelevant at that.
Irrelevant. All right. What's your number 3, Greg?
My number 3 is maybe a little bit out of character for me since I don't talk a lot of NBA on this, but I'm a big fan of like dinosaurs and everything.
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
I love the original. I will say this: I love almost all Toronto Raptors logos.
Yes, those are good.
I think so. I mean, 95, they had the they do the original Velociraptor dribbling the basketball.
The purple and crimson or purple and red.
The purple and crimson. I think it went all crimson at one point.
Yeah.
That logo is just so cool.
Yep.
And
95 to 08. I'm on sportslogos.net right now.
There you go. And now I believe they have the basketball with like the three claw marks.
Three claw marks. Also cool. Great. I think it's great too.
Cool because I got like a I don't know if you guys can see. I got like a tattoo kind of similar
because of you're such a big Raptors fan, right?
Right, exactly. Now I can say, hey, yeah, Toronto Raptors, woohoo! But I just think, I mean, like I said, that's just visually appealing to me.
I would agree.
And I think it's just such a cool team name, team logo.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, you know what? I think that's just I think that's pretty badass.
I think we've talked about this because I think Vinny picked the Raptors uniform as well.
Yes, he did.
I think he picked one, and I think we probably talked about this, but I love the fact that when they got the rights to a franchise in Toronto, they held an open vote to the people of Toronto, and Raptors won because Jurassic Park.
Because of Jurassic Park,
that's it. Yeah. That's literally the reason they've done studies on this because that movie came out in '93. They were voting on the team in '93. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's awesome.
And I think Jurassic Park kind of brought the attention of Velociraptor to the pub because I think, before it was just kind of like T-Rex, Stegosaurus, those guys. And then there's these Velociraptors hanging or, going around. So
exactly.
No, I think it was a good call by the fans over there.
Yeah, definitely.
Good logo.
All right. My number 3. This is probably the hat I wear the most. Actually, do you wash your hats? This one's looking kind of nasty. I might have
is it a 5950?
It is, but yes.
You're supposed to if anything, you just got to hand wash them. Don't machine wash.
I've worn it when I cut the grass. It's getting a little bit of that sweat stain on the bill, and I got to.
Well, that's just going to be your grass hat now.
But I really like this one. I don't. Okay.
Oh, really? Well, let's see it. Justin.
And it's made out of a different material too, because it's a spring training hat. So my number 3 is the 2018 Seattle.
Seattle again, like the
2018 Seattle Mariners spring training logo, which is where they went back to the trident from the 70s and 80s, I believe.
Yep.
And they used their current color scheme, with the teal and the navy blue. So I wear this all the time. But the thing I like about this is this one fits so well because it's not. I don't know if it was for spring training, but it's made out of like a nylon. It's like a different material. It's not polyester or cotton
or that kind of like that mesh or whatever. Yeah.
So I wear this all the time. That's my number 3. Nice. I love that logo. I almost had the other Seattle Mariners logo where it's just I think they wore it on their hats as an alternate hat in the 90s where it's the ball, but then it's got the compass rose behind it.
It's got the compass. Yeah.
I almost had that. That would have been one of my honorable mentions.
Was that navy with the teal bill or was that an all navy one? Do you remember?
I want to say, I don't know. That's a good question.
But it was that color scheme.
Color scheme. Yeah.
I definitely know because that was actually part of their logo with like the S around it too or whatever at some point. So no, good call there. That was another, I'll be honest, another logo I was thinking about too, but I knew you were going to have that on there too because I know your love for the Mariners.
I do love the Mariners. I want them to make the playoffs so bad this year. At least make it to a wild card game. I know they're sitting in 3rd in the West. I think they're a couple games behind the second place team, but
So we'll see. So they just got to get ahead of the Astros and A's. Is it?
Yes, that's it. Which I'd prefer them to get ahead of the Astros because I used to love the Astros, and now I have no time for the Astros anymore.
I'd be fine. I'd root for them to take the division. I like the Mariners.
I like the A's too, but
former Cubs, Scott Service, their manager.
That's right. So. He seems like I've watched a couple of his post game interviews. He seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There was a big thing with this the Rally Kid, the Mariners Twitter account. I don't know if you saw. Did you read that whole story?
Yes, I think you sent that. I didn't read the whole story.
Okay, so the whole thing was during the game. The kid kept getting up. I don't know what his real name is, and he was trying to pump up the crowd, and he was clap and all this stuff. And finally, near the end of the game, when they were trying to rally back, the jumbotron wasn't even telling the fans to clap. They were just focusing on this kid, and he kept getting the crowd so into the game. They won the game. They came back, completed the rally, and then afterwards, Scott Service. And I believe, his last name is Long. I want to say he's their center fielder for the Mariners. I can't think of Terrence. No, not Terrence Long. That's a former player too.
Shed Long. Yeah. Shed Long.
Shed Long. Thank you.
Yeah. Is he related to Terrence Long?
I don't know. That's a good question. But Shed Long and Scott Service had this kid come down. They signed a bunch of stuff for him. They talked to him for a few minutes, and now the Mariners are giving him like the royal treatment. They gave him like a behind the scenes tour. So it was just really cool to see an organization do that for a kid. So yeah, See, I get sucked into the PR stuff, and I know I need to not do that.
That's good. That's sometimes that's what this game
make
needs
a fan for life,
bit,
So yeah,
exactly.
Embrace the young fans. All 100%. Right, you're number 2, Greg. Go ahead.
I could have had a visual for this one, Justin. And sitting upstairs right now. Don't worry, I'm not going to get up.
I could pause the recording. If you really want me to.
I'm not going to be like Hawk Harrelson and leave the booth here to check on Todd Frazier.
I got to go check.
But there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. I do have this hat, and this logo has been an alternate of this team's ever since I think 08 or whatever. It is an Arizona Diamondbacks alternate logo. Now, this is the rattlesnake, the face of the rattlesnake with the ball, the baseball, he's biting the baseball, in its mouth right there. I love that stinking logo. I'm actually, kind of like, I have a soft spot for the Diamondbacks. Sure. My sister Tiffany has a really big fandom for the Diamondbacks. I don't really know where that came from.
I didn't know that.
But she has a lot of Diamondbacks apparel, believe it or not. I love that logo, Justin. I think it's just cool. I'm a big fan of snakes. So just that for what take that as whatever that means to you. But just that logo, I think it's awesome. It's mixed with like the color scheme too. That Arizona desert red with the black,
Sedona red or whatever.
That's Sedona red. Thank you. I couldn't think of it.
And I don't know. Is it like a topaz or jade? It's like a teal?
Yes. It's almost like a neon. It's almost like a neon. Teal blue. It just kind of makes it pop a little bit. For some reason, that is quite appealing to me. Enough for me to actually buy the hat because originally it was whatchamacallit, it was also they had a version of it when they were still had the purple and green involved, and then they did a version of it when they just did the Sedona red and black and gold.
That was one team. I was so bummed when they were changing their color scheme, and then now though that Sedona red or whatever the proper term, like that and that teal or whatever. It looks really good. Like I think that was a good switch.
I agree. Yeah, because before they were mainly purple. They had a lot of purple happening. Purple hats, purple
back in the Bob Brenly days.
So, yeah, exactly. The Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson days and all that.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. Good call. Good pick.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good pick.
There was one more. For whatever reason, we were talking about those old names. This guy just popped into my head. Do you remember Junior Spivey?
Oh my, yeah, he was a Brewer for a while too.
Was a Brewer too. I think he was on the year they won the World Series. He
was a guy. This is so stupid. When I would play MVP 04 for PS2, I would always trade for him to have him on my bench. I don't know why. I think he was did he steal a lot? I don't remember, but
he did. Because him and like Tony Womack were in the infield,
that's right.
And like Jay Bell.
Wasn't Matt Williams their third baseman?
Matt Williams was a third
longtime Giant, right?
Yeah. Luis Gonzalez in the outfield
when he was roiding up.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't. Quentin McCracken.
Oh God, I remember him. So. Yeah. Wow.
I think I should.
Good names.
I think I should. So that is my number 2, Justin. I'll have to snap a picture of the hat later and post it or something.
Definitely.
All right. That one?
Well, my number 2, I don't have a hat. I don't have anything with me to show this one. If I could go back in time from like the mid 90s on, I would, but I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it. It's long gone now. But my number 2 is the 1988 to 2002 Charlotte Hornets primary logo of the Hornet bouncing the ball. I get stupider over the summer when I'm not at work
over there.
So I loved that logo. Stupid side story. I remember, this is really dumb, and I'm sure my parents are listening. They're going to laugh about this. I remember we were at a Pizza Hut. This is probably around like 93. I don't know. So I liked basketball because I played NBA Jam, and I saw they had a bunch of basketball stickers, and they had the Hornets sticker, like where you could see which ones were possible.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I want that. So I'm going to put my 50 cents in my 2 quarters and get this Charlotte Hornets sticker because I like the Hornets.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad were like, no, you don't understand. That's not how this works. You get a random basketball sticker. You're not going to get one.
So it was just on display.
It was on display.
And you thought you could. Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember, I'm like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get what I want. I always get what I want. And so I put my money in and I got a LA Lakers sticker. And I was probably like 5 or 6. I threw a fit. I just remember screaming. I'm like, I wanted the Hornet sticker. This isn't fair. So my dad's like,
to be fair, you might do it as an adult too.
Yeah, I probably would.
Another sticker.
But I still remember to this day, my dad, he had a bunch of stickers on his workbench. And so he's like, well, I'll just stick it up there. So until we moved, it was there. I doubt it's still there now. But
that's incredible.
Little sidebar. But anyway, the reason I liked the Hornets so much was I had their starter jacket when I was a kid. I had that jacket for so many years. Yeah. It was one of the pullover, the teal and purple, and then it had the Charlotte logo on the back. Yeah. From what I know now, Michael Jordan owns the Hornets or has a partial ownership stake in the Hornets. And they have been terrible for pretty much every year he's owned them.
Kind of insignificant for
but like when it was Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, that was my team. I loved those guys. So
good times. See, that's when the NBA was fun.
Yeah,
man, at least for us,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've been following the NBA
a little bit. I've been
more.
watching the finals a little bit.
I think about it, but it's like, no, I never, bring myself to turn.
I'm not going to lie. I was pretty excited to watch the new Space Jam because I know it's coming to HBO Max. And I heard it's getting horrible reviews.
Is it really?
Now, I don't know. I don't know what the original Space Jam reviewed, but I love that movie. That's like probably a top 10 movie for me.
Yeah. That could have gotten from Chicago. That could have gotten shit canned on Rotten Tomatoes, but
it might
take that with a grain of salt or whatever. I actually saw that. I'm kind of glad you said that, but a little surprised too, because like I said, I haven't looked up any reviews on it or anything. I haven't seen it yet, but there's one article I saw, just on like a Google feed or something like that on my phone saying, don't quote me on this exactly, but something along the lines of LeBron, shines a new Space Jam movie or something.
Maybe it's good. So who knows?
I don't know. It's like I'm not surprised you said, it was getting rough reviews or whatever.
That trailer, I'm like,
that's kind of like what
I
default to, when I saw the trailer, when I think when you sometimes you hear a movie like, okay, it's going to get, panned or whatever. But I'm definitely going to check it out either way.
Oh yeah. I'm going to force myself to watch it.
But, that's interesting. We'll see what happens with that one. So,
all right, Greg, your number one top 5 sports logo. What is it?
So, I don't know what this says about me, Justin. I think I know you're a
great way to start.
I know you and Vinny are Cubs fans.
Yes.
I think I have this secret. I think I'm like this subconscious Brewers fan or something like that.
You know what? I almost had this on my list too.
Okay, so
I know where you're going with this.
If you remember my jersey, my top jersey was the 94 Milwaukee Brewers alternates, with the MB, the 2 green batch crossing. I'm kind of taking a different turn here, and I'm going with the glove logo.
The ball and glove.
The ball and glove logo, which I think is just a fantastic.
It's a great logo.
Fantastic baseball logo. And I think you actually pointed this out to me, Justin, for years and years and years and years. I did not know that was an MB.
No, neither did I.
That the letters M and B made the shape of the glove. Did you tell me this?
I might have. I didn't know about that.
You might have found it out and you shared it.
I think I found that out either. It might have been when I met one of my other brother-in-laws that my buddy Jake that married my sister.
Jake is a big Brewers fan.
He's a big Brewers fan. He was the one that he's a huge baseball fan. He might have been the one that told me, because there were so many conversations we'd have. I'd be like, man, I wish the Brewers, and I don't like the Brewers because they're such big rivals now with the Cubs.
Yes.
But if they were still in the American League, I would totally own one of those ball and glove hats for sure. It's a great logo. You don't realize the M and the B for Milwaukee Brewers is in it until you're like, oh, and that makes perfect sense. And I love that they've brought that logo back and started to use it more now.
Before it was
like an alternate.
You rewind maybe 10 years ago, you're talking about, younger Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun. It was used as a throwback and then very quickly reintroduced as an alternate. Mm-hmm. And Jake, if you're listening, if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me I'm
I'll have to tell him. I'll have to tag him on this.
So for many years it was used as an alternate up until this year, a couple of years ago, where it was reintroduced. They got rid of that, that kind of like that Miller
the
M
outline,
and the Brewers cursive script, and just kind of made the ball and glove. They changed the color tone. They went from the royal to the navy and the gold. and just slop that on with the Milwaukee Brewers right there. So
I think I like the
awesome
Royal.
logo.
I like the Royal more than the Navy, but the fact
There's something about the Royal. Yeah, I think I prefer the Royal. I like the MB or the
I like the
Navy
logo no
much
matter
better
what.
with the MB. Yeah, the logo is fine, and because I think it. To me, it's just the blue and yellow, just kind of, I think that's more fitting for it just because of, the visuals we're used to. But I love that logo, man.
Yeah,
and actually,
it's a great one.
I actually have, I don't know, I probably still have it, but I actually have one Brewers shirt, with that, with that color scheme on it. I also have a Brewers hat like that, but the shirt, maybe Jake will appreciate this, but when I was at Miller Park, years ago, I actually bought a Giovanni Gallardo t-shirt who was I think he was even their ace at that point or whatever. Yeah. He was a pretty solid pitcher.
Was that
for
before
them.
or after he went to Texas? I can't remember.
That was before he
okay.
went to Texas, if I'm not mistaken. So good call.
Like
I forgot he was on Texas.
Dude,
yeah,
from what I remember.
Yeah, good old 49 Giovanni Gallardo, who was also pitching that day against the Cubs. It was a Cubs Brewers series. So,
there you go. Excellent. Excellent choice.
Right,
I like that one.
Go.
All right. My number one, you probably know what it is.
Here it comes.
The 1993 to 2006 Mighty Ducks primary logo. All right. Like I said, for all the reasons we mentioned earlier, that to me is hockey. That movie was so popular. I remember getting so excited in D2 when they used those jerseys at the end of this movie instead of the Team USA ones, because those were the ones that the NHL used. So I thought that was awesome. I had Mighty Ducks clothes, Mighty Ducks t-shirts, sweatshirts. I had everything Mighty Ducks. And I like the team too. I could still rattle off a bunch of the guys from the 90s Mighty Ducks teams that are ingrained in my brain just from watching them so much. Do I follow them now? No, their team's garbage.
I couldn't tell you who's on the team now.
Ryan Getzlaf is still on the team. Who's their goalie? Josh Gibson, I think, but I don't follow the team now. They play kind of a dick brand of hockey where they're kind of just jerks. Or at least they did. I don't think they're any.
Are they any good?
No, they're awful now.
Oh,
they're
really?
awful.
Because they were solid.
Yeah, they were. I mean, when the last time the Hawks made it to the Cup in 2015, they had to go through them to get to the final round.
Yeah. That's right.
They were a very physical team. A lot of goons. I shouldn't say a lot of goons, but they had goons on the team who their big thing was we're gonna beat up the Hawks so bad they won't be able to keep playing.
Yeah.
And then the Hawks' response was you can't hit what you can't catch, and that's how they won that series.
That's right. Hawks were always
fast, so that's my number one. Do you want to go over any honorable mentions real quick before we wrap up?
I do. I wanted to give a shot. Like I said, I know we didn't do Chicago, but I wanted to give the batter ball, and Sox text, kind of like what they have in their spring training uniform. I would love to see those as alternates.
Yeah,
I love
I'm surprised they haven't.
Right. I know it's no Chicago, but I wanted to go with the Baltimore Orioles, the cartoon bird with the hat on, everything, what they use now. I think that I'm a sucker for, kind of like those cartoony logos.
I've been trying to
like
find
everything.
That hat, but I'm too cheap and I haven't bought it yet. So that's definitely one I got on my radar though.
Would you go for the white, black and orange, or just the black top? Because the home ones actually have the white.
They have the white,
like the two-tone white in the front, black in the back with orange.
To be honest, I would take either one. I think I would take either one. But yeah, that's a good pick. You got any more?
I do have. It's another baseball one. I don't know if this one's going to be surprising to you, Justin. I'm going to go with the original Florida Marlins. The F with the Marlin wrapped around it. And I think part of this because, I had one of my best, Little League baseball seasons as a our team was the Florida Marlins. This was before travel and all that stuff. So I really loved because we got everyone was so worried that we were going to get the teal hat for whatever reason, because we had the green jerseys with the black Marlin script across.
We had a team in our little league with that too.
Yeah, we all wanted the all black hats, and we got them that year. We were all so excited for whatever reason, because usually it was the the teal hat with the logo and then the black brim, which is a fine, look on its own or everything. So, but I don't know, for whatever reason that sticks out to me, the F with the fish wrapped around it. Like now they have, like Miami Vice colors.
Yeah, I would argue that their uniform has gotten progressively worse every year since their first season.
Once they kind of
orange was
orange,
God.
I remember I logged on to MLB.com. And there was a picture of former MLB player Josh Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on the Marlins that year, and he was wearing this hat with the M on it. And I had no idea what that was at the time. I had to, double take, like, what's he wearing? And then I did not know the news about the Marlins, uniform change. So I quickly Googled it afterwards. I'm like, holy cow. Look at those. So
those were, oh man.
And
thus Marlins man was born too.
Yes. And that hideous stadium they have.
Oh, that green wall and that statue or whatever that was.
The ones they have now, I would actually say I like a little bit better than the orange ones.
I would say I would agree with you.
I think there's a little more creativity to it.
I would agree.
Better fan of the color scheme, I guess.
Yeah.
But the original ones I actually do really like because I enjoyed them as a
I feel like youth, too, they didn't keep those all teal jerseys around for very long, right? Because then didn't they go? I mean, they had the gray roads, they had the white homes, and then they had the teal alternates, right?
They had the teal alternates. They also had a cutoff sleeve.
That was what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But then they transitioned to that same kind of look because when you think of. Let's think of, 03. I don't want to bring up the past here, but like 03 Marlins versus.
They weren't wearing that teal jersey by then.
No, that was they were just kind of stuck with the gray and black, the white and black. Yeah, still the same logo, but they kind of slowed that teal kind of became more of just an accent color instead of a main color. So, So that was that. But yeah, that was the last one I want to throw out there was just, for old time's sake, the Montreal Expos, man.
That's a great one. It's a good one too.
Kind of still miss them, kind of still miss those jerseys and that team around around Major League Baseball. But.
For sure. I got a couple. The first one, I've been trying to find this hat, but now that it's a couple of years old, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it anymore. It's the 2018 spring training. They had a lot of good hats. The 2018 Colorado Rockies batting practice logo. Which they have it on a hat. It's the black. It's a black hat, and then if you ever see like their secondary logo,
is this the mountain?
Yes. So their secondary logo is usually the mountains with purple and the ball.
Yeah.
But this one they took out the color and they put the colors of the Colorado flag on it. Which is it's a really cool look. I had the chance to buy one when we were in Denver a couple of years ago on vacation and we went to a Rockies game and I was all set to buy it. I'm like, it's just too expensive and I don't even care about the Rockies. So I didn't buy it. I've been kicking myself ever since. So that's a good one. A couple hockey.
And you said that was a spring training hat?
2018 Colorado Rockies spring training, or it's either spring training or batting practice. I can't remember which one it was.
Gotcha.
The original San Jose Sharks logo is one of my favorites. I used to draw a bunch of hockey logos when I was a kid. That was one I would draw all the time.
Yeah.
The Maple Leafs logo before the one they switched to. This one's the really basic. It's just a really crudely drawn leaf with Toronto Maple Leafs. It's so boring, but I love it because I'm a huge Maple Leafs fan.
There you go. I thought it was going to be on the list. To be
it almost was. It almost was. And then the other two, the last two. Not the biggest fan, but I guess in terms of college football, this is probably the team I watch the most is the Wisconsin Badgers. I love their Bucky Badger logo.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just made Vinny very happy, right?
Yeah, I know,
there,
right?
So
I love that logo. It's been around forever. Their alternate one. I wish they had that more instead of the W, but I get the W is, more simple for the helmets. And then lastly, I had to throw in a minor league team. I had to even look up. I want to say these guys play in the southeast part of the states. I want to say Mississippi or Alabama. I could be wrong. I don't know where they play. But anyway, they are the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Have you ever heard of this?
Trash Pandas? Yes, I have heard of them.
So they're the Rocket City. You know what? I got to look up where they're from. But anyway, what the logo is it's literally a cartoon panda. I'm sorry, not a cartoon panda, a cartoon raccoon.
Yeah.
They're a AA team. They play in where the hell do they play? It doesn't say. Oh, Madison, Alabama. I don't know where that's at, but anyway, their logo is literally a cartoon raccoon in a trash can, peeking out with the lid up like a hat, and then
like totally Oscar the Grouch style,
yes, and then there's a rocket, like rocket fuel flames coming out the bottom of the trash can.
That looks fantastic.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I don't know. I'm sure there's a story, but there's been a few times I've almost bought that hat too, and I'm like, am I going to wear this? I don't know.
Oh, I think you should, Justin.
So those are my.
If I get the Hops hat, you gotta get a trash panda.
Yes. We'll you know another really good one that I remember from when I was a kid, we would have fall ball after Little League would start. So I played that a couple of years. And I never got to be this team, but everybody wanted to, was the Chattanooga Lookouts with the C with the two eyeballs. Yeah, I liked those two. So
a team I played, I remember a team that I played with in summer ball. I know I was not on these playing with these guys, but they were always the Lug Nuts.
Oh yeah, Lansing
Lug Nuts. Yeah,
that was a Cubs affiliate for a while too.
Oh, were they really?
Probably like about 10, 15 years ago, maybe.
Okay, I forgot about that.
I don't think they are anymore.
Probably why they chose them. So
yeah. So there you go.
I had a question for you.
Yeah, what do you got?
You mentioned the Maple Leaves.
Yes.
I don't know where you were on the Winnipeg Jets, but didn't they have like an F-18 or something with like a maple leaf in the background something? Was that a logo? Was that their logo or something like that?
It's the modern version of the team that came back in 2011, 12.
Yeah. Okay.
When Atlanta moved back when Atlanta moved to Winnipeg. So so that logo. So they have the jet on the front.
Yeah.
And then they got the red maple leaf behind it. And then a little bit of a compass like jut out on the top because the company that owns them is called True North.
Okay.
It's fine. I like the old Winnipeg Jets logo from the 90s much better. And the J is literally like a jet.
Yeah.
But that's it's not a bad one. It's just a big circle with everything put in the middle.
I was just curious what you thought about that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We're talking about the Canadian leaves here. So
the Vancouver Canucks logo from the 90s was really good. It's like a skate coming down. That's a really good one too. So
cool,
there you go.
Cool. A lot of good stuff.
Well, I know it's late. You got to get to bed because you have to go to work. So I apologize for running along here.
No, that's okay. I'm actually taking a half day.
Oh, nice.
Tomorrow. So I'm going in the afternoon though, which is like the bad kind of half day. So but it is what it is. Got to
sleep in, I guess, right?
Got to watch the kids for a little bit in the morning while the wife goes out for something. So
gotcha.
So I'll be doing that, but at least I don't have to wake up that early.
That's true. So. That's true. Well, you got any final parting words before we wrap up, Greg?
No, this was the whatever section was tons of fun. Our logos and everything, but it was difficult.
It was hard. It was hard. Yeah.
I have a recommendation, Justin, as for a future whatever section. I would love to do just favorite non-Chicago MLB hats.
Ooh, I think that would be a good one.
Because when I'm going through all these logos, like I'm envisioning the hats. It's like I love the hat, but like, do I love the logo with this color and this and that and the other?
I was thinking about that. That's a good point.
As I was working today and going through my thinking of my favorite logos, I'm like, man, simultaneously I'm like putting my top favorite hats together, and I've got 20, 30, I gotta condense in top 5 here. So I think I'm going to suggest we revisit that down the line. We might have to here. So
I think that's a good idea.
I think that'd be fun. So.
That sounds good. Maybe we can rope Vinny into that one too.
Maybe that'll be Vinny's comeback episode.
Ooh, the comeback special.
We'll see if he's into that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. Well, thank you to those of you who have made it to the end. We appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be back sometime next week. We'll have another question of the week. So again, listen to that. And then that way you can write into us or post on our Facebook or Twitter and let us know what you think to that. So I think it's working out good, Greg. What do you think? Like we have more to discuss then too, I think. I think
Facebook has been a huge add-on for us ever since you got that going, Justin. I think we've had a lot of correspondence.
I've been,
but even YouTube, YouTube comments picking up a little bit. So who'd have thought asking a question would get responses, opinions or answer?
Yeah. What do you know? Or we could even start tying it to our whatever section too. If we do top 5s, we could always throw that out there. But all right. Well, if you have something to tell us or you want to answer the next week question of the week when you listen to this, you can find us at Baseball and Whatever at gmail.com. I had to think about that for a second. Man, I'm really,
Gmail.
I'm kind of,
it's not Yahoo, is it?
I'm kind of genuinely concerned something's wrong with me. I don't know. Maybe I sniffed some fumes or something today. So that's our email, baseballwhatever@gmail.com, facebook.com/baseball and whatever. You can find us on YouTube if you want to watch the video version of this, just by searching baseball and whatever. We do not have enough followers yet for a custom YouTube link, but we'll get there. And then lastly, probably the best way to get hold of us is Twitter, by going to baseball and what at baseball and what. You can also, if you want to reach out to Greg and I personally, we have our Twitter accounts as well. Mine is JS_MC2, and Greg, yours is G Probst 15. So
15.
If you want to talk to us and say why my list sucks and why Greg's is awesome, you could always do that as well. Let us know. And we will go from there. So that's all we got. Have a great rest of your week. Have a good weekend. And we will be back next week with more baseball and whatever. Have a great day, guys.
Take care, everyone.